This is probably going to be my most controversial video I think I've ever made. Why? Well, it's not really anything because of politics. Let me just get that out of the way. I've made political videos before, it has nothing to do with that. I'm going to defend Bandwagon and casual fans because I think they get too much hate. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not talking about the fans who pretend to be hardcore whenever they're casual or bandwagon. I'm not talking about asshole fans, because asshole fans could be bandwagon, hardcore, or casual. There are people who are just assholes. But so many people use bandwagon or casual as like a type of insult, and I noticed that whenever, like, the thing that really made me want to make this video was whenever someone called me, first of all, me a bandwagon and casual fan, but I've been called that before. It was this one specific person, and he called me a casual fan because of something really, really stupid. I was talking about batting average and ERA, because ERA apparently to him is, well, it's pointless. It's out of date. It has no use in the modern era. First of all, that's like a separate video if I ever want to go into that, about whether or not batting average and ERA have become useless in this modern era with advanced analytics. Because I'm a kind of person who likes a mixture of the two. I like the classic analytics, not just classic analytics, but like a mixture of like having gut instincts about how you feel about a guy, mixing with advanced analytics and everything else. I don't think going 100% advanced analytics is the way to go, and I think if you go 100% analytics, it's not going to mean anything, because there is a human factor in baseball that you can't always account for. It's why, despite the fact that the Dodgers being one of the most analytical teams and getting people that way, they have had to win but one World Series, and that World Series was a very, very short league. Very short. It can increase. It can increase total of wins, but that's about it. Total wins for the series. It does increase your chance of winning, and I think the best managers are those who try to put their team in the best chance of winning for that moment. Sometimes you gotta take a risk, and when it comes to advanced analytics, it kind of takes that out. But let me get back to defending actual, well, bandwagon and casual fans. They're important to the game. They're important to anything to be big or successful. They are extremely important to the game of baseball. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to y'all, but you need these casual fans for baseball. Without these casual fans, baseball will not be able to succeed. How do you think the MCU got started, for example? Are you a fan of anything you're a fan of? Do you think you're a hardcore fan for all of them? Do you think you know every single detail about everything that you're a fan of? No, some things you are just a casual fan of. You're like, oh, I don't hate DC, but I watch some of their movies and I like some of their movies. There's nothing wrong with being a casual fan. There really isn't, and it shouldn't be used as an insult. And there's nothing wrong with being like a bandwagon fan, especially when it comes to something like, let's say, basketball, where there are more people that are fans of players and good teams than there are of actual hometown teams. Yes, in basketball, people can be allowed to just like something really good. Like a team can be so good that it just draws people in that are a fan of the sport. Or movie fans. They don't have to like every Marvel comic book, but there can be something about like the Avengers movie that draws them in. They become a huge MCU fan. They don't have to be super hardcore everything Marvel, but the MCU is great. So they hardcore MCU fans. So be it. The fact that there are these kinds of fans that are casual, if the MCU only relied on the hardcore comic book fans, the MCU would not be as successful as it is. It would not be making billions of dollars. And shockingly, these things, you know what they do create whenever these casual fans, some of them turn into hardcore fans. Some people who may have just only liked a team because they were good, like the Cowboys. You can't call the Cowboys. You call these Cowboys fans bandwagon fans. Are you really that dense? Like, whenever they were good in the 90s, you might have been able to call some of them bandwagon fans, but it drew some of them in to the point where they became hardcore fans, and they've been fans of the Cowboys, and they haven't won anything since the 90s. You're going to sit there and try to call them bandwagon fans? Are you dense in the modern era? Are you? That's just dense, stupid, dumb, and it's just, you need these fans, these casual fans and these bandwagon fans for it to succeed. If you rely only on hardcore fans, you're going to lose a whole lot of money, and the sport's not going to be that good. The movies aren't going to be that good. Your baseball team's not going to make that much money. And then all of a sudden, you got to realize everything sucks. Everything's worse. You get these casual fans who come in whenever your team's doing good, and then they can afford better players, they can afford better stadiums, they can afford better this and that, make the experience better for you. Why? Because of the people who are casual, their team's doing good, and so yeah, okay, I'll watch that team, I'll buy a ticket, go to a game. Or bandwagons who are like, ooh, this team's really good, let me just be a fan of this really good team right now because I like really good teams. There's nothing wrong, especially if they know what they are. If they're just a fan of good teams, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that, especially if they say that. If they're a casual fan, they're not a super hardcore fan, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if they say they're a casual fan. It's not an insult. And it shouldn't be used as an insult. The people that are just as bad at these casual fans who act like hardcore fans are the hardcore fans that try to alienate people because they aren't the right kind of fan in your kind of mind. They're the same kind of asshole fan. Those are the same kind of asshole bandwagon fan. We shouldn't be just attacking casuals and bandwagon fans just cause. We shouldn't be going, oh, they're only fans of the team because they're good. If I have people that are a fan of my team just cause my team's good, great. That shows how great my team is. Just like how great teams that get a whole lot of hate, well, great teams got a whole lot of bandwagon fans. If we're getting a bunch of bandwagon fans, that truly means my team is good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, it's not an insult. Oh, you got a bunch of bandwagon fans. Okay, yeah, that means my team's good. Thank you. Casual fans, again, all these people attacking casual fans need to stop. These casual fans are what's making the business good. You're going to turn away people who would be paying money to your team to help your team get better. It's just all over the place. I don't know if I made any actual clear points about any of this. It's just, I'm sick of all the hate these casual fans and bandwagon fans are. The only ones that I think should be kind of like treated asshole-like are the ones that are pretend hardcore fans. And they're the ones that are the kind of fan they become. They're like, oh, you are the bandwagon. It's a bandwagon fan. They're calling everyone else a bandwagon fan. Yeah, that guy's an asshole. Shoot him down. Go, no, you're the bandwagon fan, you asshole. And then, just like those, same kind of asshole fans are the ones that try to attack people for being a casual fan. I'm sorry, not everyone's going to be as hardcore a fan as you. Are you a fan of literally everything you're a fan of as a hardcore fan, or are there things that you're just like kind of casually like? There's nothing wrong with casually liking something. You shouldn't be attacking people for just casually liking something. That's just my take on everything. That's just my opinion. That's honestly, I think mine is the correct opinion in this case. It's just a kind of a quick video where I just sit here and I just kind of say my thoughts about all this just hate that casual fans are just getting for what I believe just no reason.